We're going to step away from Ottawa and take you to Liverpool, where Assistant Chief Constable Jenny Sims and Detective Chief Superintendent Karen Jaundrill are giving an update. Let's listen to them.
Who have come forward with information to assist our investigation following yesterday's devastating incident on Water Street in Liverpool city centre. Prior to the incident, hundreds of thousands of people lined the streets of Liverpool and the city centre to pay tribute to Liverpool Football Club as they paraded their Premier League trophy. The atmosphere was electric, but sadly, just after 6 p.m, the joy of the day dissipated quickly after more than 50 people were injured when a car collided with people gathered on Water Street. We had worked extensively with event organisers and key partner agencies in the months ahead of the potential parade, and a robust traffic management plan was in place, which included a number of local authority road closures throughout the route and the city centre. This included Water Street, which was closed to traffic. It is believed the driver of the Ford Galaxy car involved in this incident was able to follow an ambulance onto Water Street after the roadblock was temporarily lifted, so that the ambulance crew could attend to a member of the public who was having a suspected heart attack. As with many large events, with event organisers, we planned for all contingencies, and this included the implementation of road closures to protect pedestrians, and an armed policing presence was also in place throughout the day. There was no intelligence to suggest an incident of this nature would take place, and as we've previously stated, the incident is not being treated as terrorism. An extensive investigation into the precise circumstances of the incident is ongoing, and we continue to ask people not to speculate on the circumstances surrounding the incident and refrain from sharing distressing content online. I have no doubt regarding the impact that this appalling incident has had on those who were injured, their family and friends, and for those who witnessed the incident unfolding in front of them. It is so heartening to hear that the public has also recognised the human impact on our attending officers, staff and other emergency service colleagues from North West Ambulance Service and Merseyside Fire and Rescue. And I want to personally thank the public for their support of first responders who were on scene in a matter of seconds. Following the incident yesterday, I can confirm on behalf of the National Health Service that we are aware of 50 people who were treated at hospital for ongoing treatment. Of those, 11 remain in hospital for ongoing treatment. They are all in a stable condition, and I am pleased to say that they appear to be recovering well. I want to take the opportunity to pay tribute to the brave members of the emergency services who were on the scene of yesterday's incident within a matter of seconds. Following such a shocking incident, they immediately ran towards an extremely uncertain and potentially dangerous situation in an effort to protect members of the public and fellow emergency responders from harm. Merseyside Police continues to work with other emergency services, Liverpool City Council, Liverpool City Combined Regional Authority, local hospitals and health providers, and Liverpool Football Club, collectively in response to this incident. An extensive investigation into the precise circumstances of the incident is ongoing, and we continue to ask people not to speculate on the circumstances surrounding the incident and refrain from sharing distressing content online. Information, including video footage, can be passed via the Merseyside Police Major Incident Police portal, and all details are available on our website. Anyone with information or footage should contact Merseyside Police social media desk via X at MerpolCC or on Facebook Merseyside Police Contact Centre or call 101. Alternatively, contact the independent charity Crime Stoppers anonymously on 0800 555 111 or via their website. I'm now going to hand over to Detective Chief Superintendent Karen Jaundrill, who will update on the investigation.
Thank you. My thoughts are with all those injured in this awful incident, their families and friends and everyone who has been affected. Like us, many of you will still be coming to terms with what was a harrowing end to a day of celebration. I want to reassure the public of Merseyside that detectives are making significant progress as we seek to establish the full circumstances that led to this awful incident and bring the person responsible to justice. We have arrested a 53-year-old man from West Derby on suspicion of attempted murder, dangerous driving offences and driving whilst unfit through drugs. He remains in custody where he is being interviewed. We have a total of 65 confirmed casualties, many of whom required hospital treatment, and our officers and family liaison officers are providing specialist support to a large number of these victims. Further work is ongoing to identify other people affected, and we will continue to support these individuals in the days and weeks to come. Due to the number of victims in this case, we have received assistance from our neighbouring forces, for which we are extremely grateful. Our detectives are speaking to any witnesses, including those injured, witnesses at the scene and emergency responders, as we seek to get a full picture of exactly what happened. In addition, extensive CCTV inquiries are being carried out across the city to establish the movements of the car, a Ford Galaxy, before the incident took place. We have already had an incredible response from many of those who were there last night. I thank them for their cooperation and support with our investigation, and I would encourage anyone who has not yet contacted the police who may have information on this incident to do so. Thank you.
Thank you.
We've been listening there to a news conference by Merseyside Police, an update on that investigation into what happened here, of course, yesterday during Liverpool's victory parade and that car driving into the crowd on Water Street, that street behind us. The most heartening news, of course, from that news conference that it appears that all of those who are still in hospital are on the road to recovery, according to the police there. My colleague Katerina Vitozzi is here. And also that big question of how that car came to be there. The police, even though they have someone in custody, talking about what they believe happened.
Yes, quite a unusual level of detail perhaps at this stage, but as you say, lots of questions ahead of this conference on how that car came to be in a street where no cars were meant to be. The Assistant Chief Constable Jenny Sims there saying that as their understanding as the facts right now is that the driver of the Ford Galaxy followed an ambulance into Water Street. So the road had been shut to traffic, but the cordon was briefly lifted because they said that ambulance was attending someone who was suspected of having a heart attack, and they understand that the vehicle then followed the ambulance into that area, which, as we now know, was restricted to traffic and was full of pedestrians, which then led to what we saw happening. And also detail in that police conference there about the charges that he has been arrested on suspicion of. No charges at this time, I just stress. And there are 3: attempted murder, dangerous driving and being unfit to drive through the use of drugs.
And again, that appeal from the police on a number of fronts about the footage that's out there, about speculation. The police, even last night, very keen to stress to the public this is an ongoing investigation. They need help, but they need people to be responsible as well.
I think it is that key thing about being responsible, because we saw last night what was happening in response to some of the social media videos posted minutes or even less than that, moments after the incident happened, was that there was then speculation that there were other events happening around the city, which of course diverts police attention, whereas I think the police in this press conference, as in the press conference last night, as in the immediate aftermath, giving enough information to try and create a bit of space to calm speculation, to address questions without jeopardising their ongoing investigation whilst they've still got someone in custody who is being questioned, just to try and calm, as I say, the situation, to put pay to any misinformation and, as you say, that appeal to not share footage, which not only can make it more complicated in terms of investigative terms, it's also just very distressing for people to see.
Yeah, some of that video very distressing. The police saying in that news conference, 50 people treated at hospital, 11 of those remaining in hospital undergoing ongoing treatment, all of them in a stable condition and all appear to be recovering well, which is the good news in this. But the police also saying they're talking to witnesses. And we only have to look at the pictures from yesterday to talk. I mean, there are thousands, literally thousands of potential witnesses in this.
Thousands of witnesses, and if you think this is a city centre, imagine the volume of CCTV footage that they're going to be going through now as they're trying to piece together the journey that this Ford Galaxy took. From that police conference, it seems clear enough in their minds that they're able to tell us that that car followed an ambulance into Water Street, which would have been totally sealed off to other traffic at this time. But it seems that in that brief moment that the cordon was lifted to allow an ambulance in to attend to someone who's suspected of having a heart attack, the driver or this vehicle was able to follow that ambulance close enough in order to get in. I suppose there's also, though, a question of, well, how did that happen? I mean, I suppose it's one thing of saying that the vehicle just followed an ambulance, but, you know, how close was it? Was there no one attending the cordon? These are all questions that the police will address, but I feel in this police conference it was their opportunity to address some of those concerns. Again, it's always that critical balance, isn't it? Addressing concerns, making information public, but without jeopardising the investigation at hand.
Yeah, and the Assistant Chief Constable talking there about how the atmosphere was electric, and those who were watching will have seen that. Those who were here certainly saw it, but that joy, as she said, dissipated quickly when it became apparent. And it took time for some people for it to become apparent to everyone what was going on, but that mood changing in an instant.
Yes, and I thought it was interesting where they reflected on they were reflecting on how quickly all of the emergency services who were there were able to switch from a mode of policing a traffic event or policing the event to suddenly having to respond to an incident. You know, they said they had no previous intelligence, although they had this robust plan in place, one that had been months in the making. You know, it isn't something which they plan with a couple of days. You know, this is a month's planning an event of this scale in which hundreds of thousands of people attended. You know, they praising the efforts of officers in that instant, thanking the public as well for their support of what the emergency services did at that time. Because we know that, as we say and we keep on saying, it's important to stress, there was hundreds of thousands of people at this event, and in that moment no one knew what was happening, and people were having to suddenly, in that moment, come to terms with what was happening in front of them, how best to respond. We know that there were restaurants in the local area that suddenly were turned into emergency triage centres, and members of the public, you know, providing first aid to people on the ground in front of them. So praise for the public, praise for the officers, but also that crucial detail.
Katrina, thanks very much. We'll have more reaction to that news conference. The headline, 11 people still in hospital, but all of them in stable condition and, according to the police, appear to be recovering well. Back to you, Commander.